Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to dive into the astrology of January, and I do want to start by saying this very clearly. January is not a casual month by any means, especially astrologically speaking. If you are new here, I want to first and foremost welcome you to the channel. I also invite you to subscribe down below so we can be YouTube friends, and I never want you to miss any future content. My name is Laura, and on this channel I like to explore astrology along with tarot and oracle guidance and dig into all of the collective energies, and oftentimes it is through the lens of the twin flame journey and connected to the twin flame collective, especially the divine feminine awakening collective. Okay, I also do want to encourage everyone to please comment on my videos, share the videos, like the videos. These small actions actually really help my channel to grow. It helps to circulate my content, and it allows me to continue reaching those who are meant to find these messages on the twin flame journey. It's just a free, simple, easy, supportive way to give back to me, especially if my messages and my work resonates with you. But let's dive into the astrology of January, because this is not just the beginning of a new calendar year. I feel looking at all of this, January is a threshold moment, okay? We're kind of in this liminal space, right? All of these old cycles, they've been closing out at a soul level, and we're entering into a brand new timeline. And all of this has been quietly being initiated, right? And when it comes to the twin flame collective, I want to say in particular, this month does carry with it a big theme, I want to say, of karmic resolution, inner alignment, especially between the masculine and the feminine energies. And it's like the planting of the seeds that I've talked about recently that's going to unfold throughout the entire year ahead. And so I want to walk all of you through some of the major transits in January and what this is going to mean for the collective, and how these energies are going to specifically impact the twin flame journey as a whole. And then at the end, I will pull deeper in with some tarot and some oracle messages so we can go deeper into what January might be bringing forward with the cards. Okay, so January, I want to say, begins with this deep inner truth, this emotional release, and this deep soul healing energy, right? We begin January with three very important activations in the first few days. We had Mercury enter into Capricorn on the 1st, Chiron stations direct today, and then we have the Cancer full moon tomorrow, kicking off the first 3 days of January. So first, let's talk about Mercury entering into Capricorn, because this, I feel, kind of immediately grounds our mental body after Mercury traversing through Sagittarius and all of those states of transcendence, right? And so this is kind of that shift towards seriousness, clarity, responsibility. This is long-term thinking, long-term planning, and for the collective, I want to say this is all about thinking realistically about the future, right? It's no more wishful thinking. This is about commitments, structures, soul contracts, right? And for the twin flame collective specifically, this energy is asking, what are you actually building here, right? And what is no longer sustainable for what it is that you want to build, right? And so Chiron stationing direct, this, I gotta say, is actually really significant. We've been doing the deep inner healing work connected to Chiron retrograde, I think since like June or July. And so Chiron stationing direct is bringing forward a deeper awareness around our wounds that maybe we thought we already worked through, right? And with Chiron now stationing direct, that focus is going to shift from the inner reflection to actually integrating what we've reflected upon, and then stepping further into the embodiment of the healing work that we've done during the retrograde, right? And so this is where all of that healing that we've done can be grounded into our living truth, right? We're going to live that truth moving forward. And so for the twin flame collective, this is going to activate, I feel, a lot of themes around abandonment and rejection and visibility and worthiness. And I do feel particularly for the divine feminine collective, And then we go right into the Cancer full moon. That's deep, because Cancer is so deeply emotional. It's connected to our ancestry. It's connected to home. It's connected to family. It's tied to our safety. It's tied to our inner child. And so the full moon in Cancer is going to bring forward like this emotional culmination of energies. And it's likely that feelings are going to rise to the surface. There could be memories resurfacing, childhood memories, nostalgia with the counterpart. There's like this strong pull towards emotional honesty. And it's at 13 degrees. And so for the twin flames, I feel the full moon is here to illuminate where all of these emotional needs that we've had have been unmet. And where this emotional maturity is now going to be required. And so the first few days of January kind of opens up the stage, sets the tone for the month ahead. We have to feel it. We have to name it. We can't bypass it anymore, right? And then we go into the first full week of January. Wowza. We got the Capricorn stellium, and we've got this, what I want to say is like a sacred rebalancing happening the first full week of January, the week of the 5th. We have a Venus Kazemi. We have a Mars Kazemi, and then we have both Mars and Venus in a conjunction together, and plus Mars and Venus in a conjunction to the Sun, creating this beautiful Kazemi energy. And it's all kind of happening at once in the sign of Capricorn. And I do got to say, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, right? It is a Saturn ruled sign. So this is actually really, really powerful, right? Because Kazemis are all about clarity. It's about illumination. The sun comes to shine a light, right? Comes to illuminate something connected to this new beginning at a solar level. And with Venus and Mars both being activated in a conjunction too, and activated in this Kazemi, this is huge. Like, I feel like a massive deep reset of masculine and feminine energies happening that first full week of January. And Capricorn energy does this very quietly, right? Because it's an earth sign. And it's not going to be dramatic, though. It's not going to be loud like another type of Kazemi. It's going to be subtle. It's going to be internal. And it's going to be deeply consequential. Okay? And when it comes to the Twin Flame Collective, this week is huge, because this is all about the inner masculine and the inner feminine energies, and coming back into union, coming back into balance. And it's kind of happening in the background, because when Venus and Mars are in a conjunction, it's at 18 degrees 0999. Kind of got the moon and the hermit archetype, right? And so we're doing this work quietly, right? And this is where we as a twin flame collective, we can redefine what commitment means, redefine responsibility, and what we're going to be devoted to going into the year ahead, right? You might come into a realization of what love and union actually is and how to sustain that, right? There could also be like sudden realizations or epiphanies, or just a quiet inner knowing that's going to click all of those puzzle pieces into place for you. But I do feel the beginning of January is where all of the seeds are going to be planted, especially around the long-term results that we want, the path that we're going to be going on, soul contracts that we want to call in, and the life direction we're going to be taking moving forward. And the Saturnian quality is asking for maturity, right? We're letting go of all of the fantasy, all of the wishy-washy illusions. Mid-month is going to be huge. Mid-month, around the 17th. Venus is going to be entering into Aquarius. We've got all of this Aquarius activation happening mid-month. And we've got like this, I want to say, mental realignment happening. With Venus entering into Aquarius on the 17th, this is going to bring in a desire for freedom, authenticity. I want to say truth in relationships. And true love needs and wants that space to breathe in relationship, right? Because we have to be interdependent. We have to still hold on to our sense of individuality. And so there's going to be this pull towards soul-aligned contracts rather than obligatory relationship contracts, right? Or obligation-based partnerships. We're going to see Mercury conjunct Mars. This is going to bring in a strong conversation, I want to say, of truth-telling and decisive communication. And this is going to be very activating, right? Especially if things have been left unsaid, okay? For twin flames, this is going to trigger, I want to say, almost like an internal dialogue, a realization that could lead to possibly external communication. But the bigger focus, I want to say, is all about clarity of intent. What are your intentions? Are you clear with your intentions? On January the 19th, the sun enters into Aquarius, followed by Mercury entering into Aquarius the next day. And I feel this is where all of these perspectives start to shift, right? We're going into air energy, and it's going to lift us. It's going to lift us out of all of the heavy emotional entanglements. And Aquarian energy wants us to see that bigger picture, right? So for the twins, this is where I think we're being called to step back a little bit and to ask ourselves, like, what is the higher purpose of this connection? I believe the higher purpose is the awakening journey. And so we move into the 21st with a Mercury Kazemi, with the sun in a conjunction to Mercury, this time an Aquarian Kazemi. This is the moment, I want to say, of the mental clarity. There's going to be a lot of downloads. There's going to be a lot of truth revelations on the 21st of January. And all of these insights, I feel they're going to come in like very suddenly, very quickly. It might drastically change the way you think about your journey or your twin flame entirely. Late January, we got Pluto, Mars, and this threshold energy entering into a new era. And so this is where we move, I want to say, into the most powerful parts of the month of January. Near the end of the month, we're going to have Mercury conjunct Pluto. We're going to have Mars entering into Aquarius. We're going to have the sun in a conjunction to Pluto. And most importantly, Neptune is going to enter Aries. It's going to leave that final anaretic degree, that 29th degree of Pisces, and it's going to move into that 0 degree of Aries. We got a little bit of a taste of that, right? Last year. And so this is a monumental shift at the end of January, because Neptune in Pisces has been dissolving boundaries, clearing the past, closing out major cycles connected to Piscean themes. And it's going to move into Aries, and it marks the birth. It's the birth of a new spiritual era, right? Because Neptune rules spirituality. So this is where the spirituality we've been working on is going to become like the embodied action that we're going to take moving forward. And it's like the no more waiting. We're not going to be drifting in the Piscean ocean of emotion. This is going to be that soul truth that's going to demand movement forward. Aries is initiation, right? And so for the twin flames, this can feel like drawing that line in the sand where all of the illusion dissolves, and that martyrdom energy really does need to come to completion. And so the question really, I feel, is going to become like, what are you going to choose now? What are you choosing now? Because at the very end of the month, we have Mars conjunct Pluto. That's intense, right? Whenever Mars and Pluto are in a conjunction, it's intense, it's transformative, it's catalytic energy. Alongside Mercury in a conjunction to Venus, we close off the month on the 29th with Mercury in a conjunction to Venus. That's like a heart-mind alignment with a lot of emotional truth. So where are you still in a state of denial about a certain connection? Because decisions are going to solidify at the end of the month. These power dynamics are going to be shifting. And everything that's kind of been brewing and stirring quietly below the surface throughout the month of January, it's all going to start to take form. And so this is exactly what I personally believe, that astrology is more important than ever this year. We are going to be moving through some very massive collective shifts. January is just kicking it off. And if you understand the timing, the symbolism, and all of the soul lessons that these transits can bring forward, and you learn how to work with the energy instead of feeling overwhelmed by it, this is it, right? If you do feel called to go deeper, I invite you all to come on over, join my astrology membership. I'm going to break down these transits in real time. We've already built the foundations. January is all about exploring the North and the South Node. I'm gonna start to go deeper into exploring astrology, how it affects the Twin Flame Collective. So if you really are serious about leveling up and learning how to consciously work and align with these higher timelines and these energies, trust me when I say astrology is the roadmap. It shows us how to move rather than resist. It shows us how to step into alignment, how to align rather than resist everything happening around us. And you will find all of the details linked below in the comment section and in the description box below. But now that we've talked about all of the astrology, we've explored the energies of January, all of these energetic themes that are going to shape the month, I do want to take this a little bit deeper. I do want to move into pulling some cards to see what other messages January has in store for the collective. So stay with me and I will see you on the other side of the shuffle. All right, so we've already explored the astrology of January, and now we're going to dig into these oracle and tarot messages, because I do feel this is a massive indication of everything that came through in connection to the astrological forecast. And so these cards are actually very clearly telling me everything that happened in the astrology. It just kind of confirms it all, right? That January is going to be this threshold month. This is a month of inner alignment. It's going to be a month of courageous truth. I feel there's a major life decision here that needs to be made, and it's going to quietly change everything on your path. Okay, so let's talk about the first three oracle cards that came out, because they did immediately set the tone for the rest of the reading. And so the first card out, the adjacent possibilities card. This card really carries with it a strong Queen of Wands archetype. It's a 24 card. Key 24 is the Queen of Wands. And so this tells me that doorways are opening. Maybe doors that were previously not even considered or slammed shut. This isn't confusion. This isn't indecision. This is expanded awareness of multiple personalities, multiple possibilities. There are options available now that I think just simply didn't exist before. This could also speak of like a habit or a pattern here, or an old way of operating that might be keeping you stuck. But I feel more than anything, it's like a realization that there's probably a healthier, more aligned choice available, but it's going to require courage. It's going to require creativity, and it's going to require confidence, right? Because every moment offers a different doorway, right? A different trajectory, a different choice. And I think January is just asking us to consciously choose. This could show up around goals, creative direction, or maybe just how you show up in your work, right? There could be an old idea that's going to be surfacing. There could be a new platform, a new strategy, or a new creative path appearing. But I feel the message with the adjacent possibilities is just flexibility. Be open, be willing to look at things differently, right? The second card out, we have the Angel of Strength. It's a 50 card, which does directly tie into the 10 of Cups energy that came out in the tarot Key 50 in the tarot is the 10 of Cups. And so it's really important, right? Because it was the final card in the 9-card tarot spread. And so there is a real possibility for potential here, I want to say, for wish fulfillment in January, right? But it won't come from being passive. We have to be active. And so this is not the month to stay small. This is not the month to stay silent. This is the month to stand in your personal power, speak your truth, right? Leo energy, and act on your own behalf, because you are far more capable than maybe you have believed in the past. And I want to say the universe is filled with all kinds of unlimited resources and possibilities, but you do have to call upon your own inner resourcefulness, right? So I think January is asking you to stretch beyond your perceived limitations and to realign with what truly matters, right? Because the 3rd card out is the card of victory, and there's victory here. It carries with it the 2 of Wands and the 6 of Wands energy, and so you're probably going to find yourself at a crossroads in January, but there's going to be success. So there's going to be victory after many challenges, right? After walking through a multitude or a multiple of maybe adjacent doorways, right? After learning and growing and evolving, right? Achievement here is not just outer success either, right? There is a deep interchange, I feel, taking place. And all of the effort is moving you towards a significant triumph. And so be open to victory arriving in all forms on every level, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, materially, okay? Bottom of the deck, yin yang. Oh, and angel of balance below that. So we have Fool energy here. We have master number 22 here coming through. This is deeply connected to the Venus-Mars conjunction that we discussed astrologically. This does confirm to me the balancing of the inner masculine and the inner feminine energies. And with the angel of balance below that, that's a very clear message. Healing and happiness. It does require, though, walking away from something, because this is a 48 card. And so there is a cycle ending here. The yin yang speaks to life cycles, speaks to energetic completion. There's something here happening, I want to say, below the surface in the month of January. This is a time of receptivity, intuition. I want to say gestation, but also taking a decisive action towards something. And so you're being called to balance your being and your doing. Reflection and movement, right? Surrender and intention. And so I feel something here has to be wrapped up. Something has to be walked away from. A chapter has to come to a complete close. And I think you already have everything that you need to move forward, within you to move forward. And so let's break down this 9-card tarot spread, because it was also quite telling. The top row, the Ace of Cups reversed, the Emperor upright, the Queen of Swords upright. We got 2 people holding swords of truth here. And so this top row is very clear to me. This is not about the facts. Or wait, this is not about the feelings. This is about the facts. I got that a little bit backwards. We do have a very strong divine masculine energy coming through here, right? With the Emperor. And with that Ace of Cups in reverse coming through, I feel there is a new beginning in love here. Maybe that's been delayed over the course possibly of the last year. It's not quite emotional overflow, but this is about like just an honest conversation, right? This is just an honest conversation between 2 people. And the Emperor upright is showing me a masculine energy that is ready to step into leadership, structure, accountability. Accountability is big, right? Could be an Aries, doesn't have to be. I just think more importantly, this is a masculine, somebody ready to take charge and increase their efforts. And so the Queen of Swords is going to represent a feminine in this conversation who I want to say is very intelligent, brilliant, humorous, somebody that is maybe shifting their perspective. This could be somebody very career driven, highly intuitive. This could be a public speaker, a content creator, a channeler. I do feel this is a long overdue release here, a long overdue release of some unspoken truths or a delayed conversation finally coming to light. I do feel a face-to-face conversation is going to be very likely in the month of January between 2 people who I feel are both currently single. I feel the masculine is awakening. I feel this conversation can be very transformative with the butterfly on the Queen's sword. I think it's a necessary conversation. And then we go right into the middle row with the Six of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the High Priestess. I do feel this is a conversation connected to somebody from the past, especially with the Six of Cups coming through. This, to me, is saying the return. It's the great return, possibly of somebody from your childhood, or maybe just a past romantic connection that maybe didn't ever get off the ground, was a false start. I do feel this is likely going to activate some inner child healing. But I think the key here is like not to over romanticize the past. I think that's why the top row came through with the Ace of Cups in reverse, because it is about the facts. It's not about the feelings, right? But I do feel we see this Temperance angel trying to bring two people together, trying to create balance, maybe in a separation here. And with the Two of Wands, I feel could be a same-sex couple, doesn't have to be. But this is about two people moving forward together, or an opportunity to move forward together, to choose expansion together, to complete a cycle. He's holding the World card, right? To partner with somebody that shares the same visions and dreams as you. But I feel after this conversation is had, the High Priestess is saying pause. Go within. The High Priestess is saying trust your intuition. Do not seek external advice after this conversation. Do not seek external validation. Because the answer has to come from within. It has to come from your higher self as to whether you are going to move forward or not, right? The bottom row, we have the Hierophant reversed, the World reversed, and the Ten of Cups. I like the Ten of Cups. The Wise Counselor, or the Hierophant in reversed, I do feel is saying an old belief system is dissolving. This could be a breaking away from some type of traditional dogma, or an idea about relationship that just is no longer serving you or fitting your spiritual journey moving forward. But I feel this is like an incomplete cycle that has to be revisited in order to fully move forward. That's what I'm feeling with the World reversed. And it is connected to Saturn. So I feel Saturn is kind of asking you to go back and consciously choose what it is that you truly want. What outcome do you truly want? Ask yourself that. What's the outcome that you want from this conversation? Because this can lead to emotional fulfillment. That's what the Ten of Cups is. It's happiness. It's family. It's shared joy. It's happiness. It's everything you've ever wanted, right? So there is a conversation here, and I think no matter how serious or uncomfortable this conversation is, it could lead to a lot of contentment, a lot of emotional security. Let's talk about the bottom of the deck. The Eight of Cups reversed, the Page of Coins reversed, the Nine of Coins reversed, and the King of Coins upright. So this is actually very telling. There is a deep story here, right, with all of these cards that came out. So I do feel there's a masculine here who can't move on. I do feel this is somebody revisiting maybe a path that wasn't taken. I do feel this is a spiritual connection. Possibly something that was walked away from many years ago. I think there's fear here. I do feel there is also a feminine here, maybe protective of her independence, really focused on career and being self-sufficient. But this king here, this king is showing up very grounded, very loyal, very financially secure. There is a masculine energy returning. I want to say ready to invest, ready to commit, ready to protect, ready to provide. I do feel this offer is sincere, but I also feel apprehension. And I think that's understandable, especially if it's somebody from the past, because yesterday's message was we're not going back to the past. But I just want to say trust in your inner knowing, right? Trust in that inner knowing. Let's talk about the closing oracle guidance, because if you remember when I opened up the box, this card kind of fell out, so I left it on the table. Your effortless effort is fully required. So I think that just shows the paradox of January. Balancing surrender and action. It's a paradox, right? Balancing the doing and the being with the yin and the yang card. They kind of have to work together in tandem, the paradox tandem. But I just feel there's going to be a lot of unexpected encounters that are going to be possible in the month of January that could probably lead to long-term partnerships being formed. But there is also a need to let go of control, right? And the universe wants you. You're wanted. You are wanted as a universal creator. And it reminds me of like those nesting dolls. I love those little nesting dolls. Anyway, this I feel is saying life wants more life and creation wants more creation. And so this does speak to conscious union, conscious creative collaboration, possibly building something together that will bring forward a positive impact in the collective. Okay, creating something together. And then the bottom of the deck, each evolutionary turn requires you to give up who you think you are. So this is the threshold moment, right? January is the shedding of the old skin. And we do need to remember progress is never linear. It's always going to be a spiral, right? And so there may have been a separation. There may have been confusion. There may have been a sense of like walking a pathless path in separation with this person. But once surrender happens and this conversation unfolds, I think the unexpected can come next, but you have to be willing to leap. So how can you like close your eyes and really open up your heart to the possibilities here that are opening up in the month of January? Because I think that's what this reading is asking of you. Be open to the conversation, okay? That's what I have for a January forecast. Please feel free to comment down below, like the video, share the video. Let me know what you think of the messages. And check out the webpage if you would like to book in a reading with me, because I will be phasing them out and they will be gone soon. Have a wonderful month ahead, everybody, and I will see you all again next time.